You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. How is everyone? So much going on. I hope your week is fantastic. I hope, thank you, first of all, for joining us and making this podcast your choice. Means a shit ton. Let me tell you, there's a lot of podcasts out there and people have stuck with this one, and we get a lot of good stuff. We got a lot of people opening up and talking about their lives and mental health, and I really appreciate this. So if you're a fan of Devon Sawa and you like this podcast, you like this episode, I urge you to subscribe, follow us, support the podcast, the little podcast that could. Ryan is here. Ryan Tellez.
Hi.
How are you? We got a lot of stuff going on. What's that, Ryan?
I'm all right. We do have a lot of stuff going on. For those of you watching,
yes,
there's a light.
There's a light. We got it lit up, so we're gonna hopefully see if this works. I think it does.
This sign has been here
for a long time, but it's never
a cool sign.
And we've never been able to use it.
It was too bright.
It's too bright. So I paid someone to come in and put a new transformer in, and we're boring you. But anyway, the light's there.
I think it's cool.
I like it too.
Because it's been sitting here this whole time. It's just been like, what if?
It adds to the show.
It does.
It adds to the show.
I think it adds to the vibe.
It's a vibe.
Look at what it's doing to your personality right now.
Oh my God. I'm alive. The vivacity. Listen, you can go to my Instagram at the Michael Rosenbaum. Important information coming. And go to my link tree. There's cameos. There's cons that Tom Welling and I are doing. There's so much information. But also Tom and I are doing a live podcast May 21st and May 22nd. The May 22nd show Wednesday night is already sold out at the Bourbon Room in Los Angeles. We added another date. So please get tickets now for the May 21st show, because that will probably sell out. We have a Smallville Nights where we do an interactive thing with fans. And then we have our show with Q&A, and we talk Smallville stories and a bunch of, it's a Smallville night. It's going to be great. There are prizes for the Smallville Nights, and it's just really an exciting time. Also, there's a big con in New Jersey. Tom and I are going out. It's the first time we've ever done a Smallville con. It's in October, I believe. Look on my Instagram link tree. But we're going to hopefully bring some guest stars, and a lot of us will be there. So you want to get tickets to that. That should be a lot of fun. It's maybe the only time we do it. Also, if you want to join Patreon and support this podcast, without my patrons, I couldn't do it. So if you want to support us, go to patreon.com/insideofyou. And the Inside of You online store has new tumblers and Smallville scripts signed and ship keys and many, many other cool things. So make sure you check that out. We got a great guest today. Also, quick shout out, Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. It's on Amazon. If you want your dogs to have fresh breath, get this, Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath. You can go in my link tree and get that. And it's my new product. And it's got me on the bottle with my dog Blanche. And I'm very excited about that. And it's doing well. So hopefully you like it too. Write a review. Devon Sawa is here, and I've known him for a long time. We've never really hung out, but we always see each other, and it's like, dude, and we know mutual people, and he's very open, and I loved having him here. We talk child's play. We talk a lot of stuff. We get personal. We get deep, and I think you're going to really appreciate him. Devon, thanks for coming on the show, and let's see what you think. Let's get inside of Devon Sawa. It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. How many podcasts do you do?
You know, I try not to do a lot. I get a lot of requests for podcasts.
You do?
Yeah, I got one the other day from a father of my daughter. Like it was
what?
It was, yeah, school.
That's kind of weird.
He hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I got a friend that does a podcast." I'm like, "All right." And then
you're like being nice, but you're like,
I did it. And then
you did it.
Yeah, I did it for them, and it got a little awkward.
Why?
Well, they started trying to get shit out of me. Like they started asking me about if anything, if there was any relationships on the movies I did back in the, if there was, it just got weird.
Were there?
No, there wasn't. I was like, well, I can't remember any. That they wanted the.
But you know why it's weird? It's weird because it's a friend of a friend who.
Yeah, I mean they were good. They were nice.
They were cool.
They were trying to just get something that I hadn't said a billion times, and I gave them nothing. And I was polite.
Is that a Rowdy Roddy Piper 1984 sweatshirt?
Absolutely.
I worked with him. He gave me the sleeper, and then I gave him the sleeper. He showed me how to. I put him to sleep.
You worked with him.
I put this little comedy that wasn't
needs to be seen.
No,
this little comedy that needs to be
but he
seen.
was
What?
great.
Tell us the name of this little comedy.
No, it wasn't. It was. I enjoyed doing it. It was called Kicking It Old School.
Oh yeah, with Jamie.
Yeah. And
course.
I had a great time.
Yeah,
but it didn't.
Glasser
and people like
yeah.
Phil, who
Phil
loves you.
Glasser.
You live with Phil.
I lived with Phil. I lived with Phil and Stuart Stone, and I lived with them back at the Oakwood. We got kicked out of the Oakwood.
Doesn't everyone get kicked out of the Oakwood?
I think so. And yeah, but Kicking It Old School.
Kicking It Old School, and I worked with Roddy. And here's what's sad: he was awesome.
Yeah,
but he shows up to the premiere, and nobody told him he was cut out. He's with his kids.
Oh man,
I hate that when a director won't call the actor and say, "Hey, listen, your stuff's not in there."
Yeah,
but
that's mandatory.
Yeah, I wouldn't have come.
Of course.
I'm not coming if I'm cut out of the movie.
Yeah, a funny story. I didn't know I was in Final Destination 5, and I was invited to the premiere. And I don't know if you know the ending, but they cut me into they use old footage from number 1.
Right.
And they shoot new footage from old footage from number 1. They shoot new footage, and they spliced it together. And so I'm sitting there. I was like, why did they invite me to this premiere? And I'm sitting there in my seat. And all of a sudden, there I am, like in brand new scenes that have never.
Okay, wait a minute. They can't do that. I just talked to Michael Bean about this, and he ended up getting a big paycheck.
They did it, and because they it's something in the contract of being able to use
stock footage,
and when you sign it, you think, okay, they're going to use it for trailers or whatnot.
But it wasn't it new footage, sort of like.
No, it was footage we shot. And then, I guess stuff that they didn't use, but it was new footage we shot, and new footage or old footage we shot and new footage they shot, and kind of they grained it down.
But you should have sued.
Listen, it's
I guess it's a big studio, and it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Did you get residuals?
I got some residuals. I'm sure I got like.
What? I don't like that. They don't even tell you. At least you went to something thinking you weren't in it, and you were in it. And you're like, whoa!
I want to say that they didn't tell me because they didn't want it to get out. I'm hoping that's the reason.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice.
Yeah.
It would have been nice for sure.
I know you looked around. You're like, I need to get a man cave.
Yeah.
I need to. Does your wife? Does she?
Yeah. I have a movie room, but it's done. My wife did it. It's got pictures that are perfectly placed.
It's classy.
It's classy.
So you're saying this isn't classy?
No, this is great. This is what I want. You got baseballs. You got Muppets. You got, this is great. I love this room. This is a great room.
It's fun. It's nice too when, because usually, other actors or whatever come in and they notice it. And sometimes I could tell they're like, Jesus Christ.
No, man. I love all the horror. That was on my wall as a teenager.
It's for
many years.
One of my favorite movies of all time. Return of the Living Dead.
Video gave me the poster because I loved the movie, and it stayed on my wall for years.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't have it anymore.
I don't have I moved out, and my parents took my room down and kept nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Are your parents both with you?
My father passed away like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
My mother's up in Canada.
Are you guys close, you and your mom?
Yeah, we're close.
Were you close with your pops?
I was close with him. We became close. It was he became a different man in my my 20s and 30s.
Yeah. What do you mean different man?
He was growing up was he was from that old school kind of old school dad, and he was not great to go to sports with, and
he was hard on you.
He's hard on me. He was hard on me.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Mine was really hard on me, and I always tell the story, but I remember I scored 3 goals in this hocky tournament. I go, Dad, I scored 3 goals, the overtime winner. And he goes, yeah, it was a weak golie.
Yeah, that's my father. That's my father, and it's one of the reasons I gravitated towards theater because I hated going to sports, man. I was pretty good at sports too, but there was always a problem. There was always, something wasn't good enough. Something was. He left me alone with theater. He liked it. He encouraged it, but he didn't know shit about it. Right. So he left it alone.
Oh. You think that some sports dad would be sort of against the theater of like going into theater. My dad sort of was like that. You know, I always make the joke of eat your steak. You know, I told him I want to be an actor. He's like, eat your steak. I'm not done. You know,
right.
I said that a few times, but
yeah,
you know, so I understand that, but it's kind of cool at least that he supported you and what you wanted to do, but he didn't know what he was talking about, so he just let you do your thing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
He didn't know he couldn't give me shit after a theater performance because he didn't know what he was saying.
Yeah.
So.
Are you like me though? Were you like always trying to get your father's approval?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was a lot of that.
Did that go away?
Yeah.
It did.
It did.
How did it go away?
I think he became a different guy, and it just became easier to talk to him, and he just became easygoing and
really,
and I don't know.
That's rare.
It became a different relationship. I think it was my sister that had a lot to do with it. You know, he had a daughter, and all of a sudden this edge came off, and he was a girl dad. And
were you surprised? It was like, this is Dad 2.0. I
was happy.
Made you happy.
Yeah.
Because I've gone to therapy my whole life. Have you ever gone to therapy?
I haven't. I should.
Never.
I haven't.
Well, you seem like you got your shit together now.
I'm scared of therapy.
Why?
I don't know. I'm scared they're going to tell me something that I don't want to hear, something that I should hear. I'm afraid I'm going to cry the entire time.
What's wrong with that?
That's another thing that I tried to change with my father. Like, it was not okay to cry. Like, if you cried like during ET or something, you were getting teased, you were getting the elbow, I try to be as emotional as possible with my son. I try to let him know that everything, if something is sad or emotional, let it go. Be you.
Right.
You
don't, kind of look down on them if they
cry.
No,
not at all.
I remember I was watching a Broadway show. It was my dad, brother, me, mom, and it was very emotional. It was Blood Brothers, I think.
Right.
This musical Blood Brothers, which I loved. And if you had a camera and you were like on a dolly and you started with my mom, she's hysterical. Then you go to me, hysterical. Then you go to my brother, just like looking at us like we're idiots, and my dad just going, what a bunch of wimps.
Yeah.
That was kind of the mentality.
Right.
So
is your dad still with you?
He is.
Is he still the same?
Yeah.
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 Where are you from? Where?
I was born in New York and I grew up in Indiana.
Okay.
It's weird. My whole life I thought that if your family provided for you, if you had a roof over your head and you were fed, that's a good parent.
Yeah.
That's what it meant. And it took me going to therapy, them going, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not what it, but I also believe in that hard sort of old school mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. But it exists, and it's just, you had to learn to accept it. So I didn't want my dad to be like, I'd never seen him cry. I was just talking. I've never heard him fart.
Never saw my father cry.
Yeah. The only time I saw my father is when I lost my sister a few years ago, and I've never heard anybody like that. And so it hurt me to hear him in that much pain.
Yeah.
But it also made me go, oh my God, he's human. He, this, and how much he actually does care. And I think he does care. And I think, but it's just not in his DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I think my brother got a lot of that. He doesn't know how to talk about things. Like, he won't, like, that's something that as I got into this business and, got with this great group of, people in the film industry, I learned to open up and, be able to speak about things. And I think my brother's like my father, where it's not okay to talk about your feelings.
See, it sounds like you got your shit together in that sense. But like, what I will say about therapy is it's not about all the trauma exactly. It's about the day to day. It's about sort of like, you go work out and you feel better and you're in shape. And mentally, we get stressed and we deal with it, and we don't pay attention to certain things when it could be easier. And so, if you talk to somebody who's good, then you start to talk about, this makes me. Why do you feel stressed about it? I don't want to fail. So where does that come from? Why? And working things out and sort of understanding your actions and what you're doing and how to improve them if that's what you want.
Right.
So it's not like somebody's going to sit here and go, Devon, you're a complete F up.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, and going to sit there and make you cry. If anything, it's cathartic.
Right.
I would pay for your first therapy class. Just
Interesting.
one therapy session.
Interesting. See, but by the end of
Just to hear.
But by the end of one therapy session, I'd want the person to tell me what I need to do differently.
They don't do that.
I know they don't. But I'd be like, listen, I just sat here for 45 to an hour. Can you tell me what I got to do now? Because I'll go and do it, and everything will be cool.
What they will do is they will give you the tools, and they'll make you understand yourself a little more, so that the pieces are all there. So
Right.
you're like, oh, this is why I respond or react like that. This is why I do that. And if you're aware of it, you can improve on that. So that's it. They do give you the answers. They don't just sit there and go, okay, tell me your problems.
Right.
And here are the answers. Thank you.
Right.
And you're good to go now.
Right.
Nothing's that easy.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go to therapy. I was like, what am I doing here?
What made you go for the first time? You just had.
I went through a breakup.
Right.
And I lost someone that I was in love with, and it was my fault. And I tried to get them back, and he called it situational depression. This is what you're dealing with. But it felt like I couldn't function for 6 months. I just was like not me. I was a shell of a man
Right.
that I was. And I started to learn about ego. And I was like, wait a minute, is this a lot of ego stuff?
Yeah.
Is this a lot of, and when I kind of,
That's where I'm gonna get into.
it's ego. Because
Yeah.
you're a confident guy, talented guy, got the, kicking some ass right now.
Yeah.
Everything seems to go. It's more about helping you prepare for when those things happen that it's unpredictable, and sort of understanding yourself so you can get through those things a little easier.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to go to therapy. I'm just, you're like, you just got here. This guy's telling me to go to fucking therapy.
Yeah.
You know?
I know I should go, and I know I will go. I know I'm far from perfect, and I've got some stuff I just gotta, I just gotta get there.
How old were you when you became an actor?
So 5th grade is when it was a punishment. It was in 5th grade, my teacher suggested if I wanted to be class clown, that my parents should put me into theater. And so they put me into this really, bad theater company, this James Cowan Theater. It was probably doesn't even exist anymore.
James Cowan Theater.
Yeah. And it didn't help with school, but I fell in love, and I went to Vancouver Youth Theater, and there was an agency there, and it kind of just, so whatever 5th grade is, whatever age that is, 9, 10.
Were you a popular kid?
I wouldn't say popular. I got along with everybody. I was, Were you
a bit of a deviant?
No.
I got into some trouble.
Yeah, I would say the trouble came more in my late teens, early 20s is when things started. When I got to Hollywood was when the trouble began.
Oh, there we go.
You know what I mean? But up until that point, 8th grade, 9th grade, I was fine. I, get a little trouble here and there.
But did you know you were good? Did you feel like, hey, by the reaction of your peers or your teacher, did you realize, hey, I got something here?
I didn't think about it at all. I just wanted to do it, and I knew I was going to do it. I always knew I was going to do it, and there was nothing going to stop me. It was never a hesitation. There was never like, maybe I'm good enough to do this. It was always, I'm going for this. This is it.
Wow.
Yeah, 18 when I was old enough to move out. I moved out. I moved down here. Went to the Oakwoods. That was it. Nothing was going to stop me. I always knew that.
I don't know what I would have done being in your shoes, coming to Hollywood at that age.
Yeah,
because things didn't really happen to me. It was very gradual. It was like, oh, I booked a voiceover at 23 years old. Oh, I did this short film. Oh, I did this little whatever. And slowly, and all of a sudden, by the time I'm 26, 27, still not mature. I'm still not mature as we speak.
Yeah,
but I don't know what would have happened if I went to Hollywood at 18 years old. I probably wouldn't have lived.
Yeah,
I probably was just not in the right mindset where I didn't have enough good. My surroundings weren't as healthy as they are now. I want to hang out with people that are positive. And
sure.
So, do you think you got into some trouble probably because everybody else around you was young and wanting to get in trouble?
I think I was always going to struggle. I'm almost 20 years sober. I'm
wow.
Yeah, no, but I think I was always going to struggle with addiction eventually. It's all over my family, both sides. Hollywood just really amped it up. You know what I mean? It was when you get here and you're 18 and you're, you've got movies coming out and you're in the clubs and everybody wants to have a drink with you and everybody wants to, do this or that. It definitely sped things up.
Did you think you were invincible at that age?
Oh yeah. You didn't think.
You didn't think.
You didn't think of consequences. There was no cell phone cameras. There was no, you didn't think of you just, everything was day by day and it got crazy. It got chaotic. And
what got you out of it?
I think my agency, when it was getting a little bit too bumpy, they suggested I go home, and I went home and I quit. That was it for acting. I think it was 24 or 25.
You quit?
I quit till I was like 29.
Why?
I had been doing it since the age of 9 or 10. I'd been working steady. I'd done school on set. I was burnt out. It was more important to me, like after, say, Final Destination or something, it was more important for me on what party was going on that weekend or what than the quality of scripts or the art of it anymore. It was more important,
So did you quit your agency? You said, I'm done?
I was quit. It was suggested to me that I needed to, that was it for me. And so I went home and
It was suggested that you should quit acting.
It was suggested that I take a break, and then I came up with that was it. I was done.
Who said that?
My agency said that I should go home. Basically, I should go back to Vancouver and just take it off, take a break, sober up.
Was that even though you kind of felt it, was it an ego punch?
No, because I was so out of my mind that I went home and partied for another couple of years. It was
Really?
Yeah, and then it was rock bottom, and then I got sober, and I started doing real estate stuff and whatnot. And
I had no idea about that.
And then like when I was 29, I got a script for Max Payne. It was a hard copy in the mail, like snail mail. And there was pages attached, and I thought, well, what the hell, and I missed it at that point. I was like, you know what, I kind of after hauling drywall upstairs on a building that we were renovating and in the snow and I was like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. I want to I loved being in the film business.
If he didn't send that script, you don't think you?
I
eventually
would have been back into it, but that script came at the right time. It was really. I was doing okay. I was doing fine. I was
making a living.
I was making more than a living. I bought a couple of buildings and we were renovating them suite by suite. And so I was getting by.
You're a man's man. You can build shit.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but we were doing a little of that. And I missed the art. I missed creating. And
did you feel like at that point in your life, was it more about you're letting everyone else down, like your parents, they're like, you just quit this thing that you were good at and making a lot of money, and you were a star and you were like in this movie and everything was going right, and then you just quit it all and you're partying and you're this. Was it more of a disappointment you felt towards it, or a combination of your disappointment to yourself?
It had nothing to do with anybody else. It felt like, I'm going to get to the point where I'm 50 or 60 years old and I'm going to regret walking away from something that I spent so much time building. And it's been 4 or 5 years, I can get back into it easy. It wasn't that easy, by the way. There was a lot of doors closed still.
Because they probably assumed, oh, you're the same guy who was partying.
Exactly.
And all that stuff.
It was exactly. There was a lot of people that didn't want to see me. But and I remember a couple of different people that were close to me saying that I was crazy to go back to LA. You're crazy. It's not going to happen. It's done. You're crazy. And it was the same attitude I had, when I was a teenager. It was like, I'm going to go do it. That's it. I'm just going to get back into it. I'm going to do it. And that's it. No one's going to tell me no.
Inside of You is brought to you by Neurohacker, Qualia Senolytic. Let me tell you something. If you haven't tried this, you are missing out. I just sent this to my mom. I have it. I use it. It's a product that they weren't even my sponsor when I was using this. And I was like, wow, why do I have more focus or energy? Why do I feel better? Why do I feel different? It's because I take Qualia Senolytic, Neurohacker. Look, if someone would have told me, Ryan, that there are science-backed ingredients that could help me feel 15 years younger in a matter of months, I wouldn't have believed it. But I tried Qualia Senolytic, and the rest is history.
As we age, everyone accumulates senescent cells in their body. Senescent cells may cause symptoms of aging, such as aches and discomfort, slow workout recoveries, sluggish mental and physical energy associated with that middle-aged feeling.
Also known as zombie cells, they're old and worn out and not serving a useful function for our health anymore, but they could be taking up space and nutrients from our healthy cells. Much like pruning the yellowing and dead leaves off a plant, Qualia Senolytic helps remove those worn out senescent cells to allow for the rest of them to thrive in the body. And you just take it 2 days a month.
The formula is non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, and the ingredients are meant to complement one another, factoring in the combined effect of all the ingredients together.
And Neurohacker Qualia Senolytic has a 100-day money-back guarantee. Oh, I have more energy. I feel younger. I'm more productive. I will tell you that. I'm more productive. And I feel like I have, I'm more enthusiastic about my life. I definitely feel that. And for me, the aches and pains are lessened by this. So that is a real important thing for me. Help resist aging at the cellular level, folks. Try Qualia Senolytic. Go to neurohacker.com/inside. Neurohacker, NEUROHACKER. Neurohacker.com/inside for up to $100 off, and use code INSIDE at checkout for an additional 15% off.
That's neurohacker.com/inside for an extra 15% off your purchase.
So you moved back to LA.
I moved back to LA.
How soon? I mean, right after you got that movie?
I didn't get the movie.
You didn't get that movie?
No, I got a call from a management company from the casting director loved the tape, and I was up for the movie. I don't know who got the part, but I didn't get the movie, but all of a sudden I had a manager. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was back in.
They started sending you out. How soon after did you start to see some success where you started booking stuff?
It's about a year, I think.
And at that point, were you
Phil Glasser actually gave me a movie. I came back and he gave me a movie with Judd Nelson and Tom Arnold. And so that was it? It was called what was it called? Endure. Joey Lauren Adams was in it.
Right.
It was like a small little indie movie, and
he gave you a little break.
Gave me a little break. It was a lead in that movie, and so that was my first kind of thing back. And then I did this show called Nikita for the CW for 4 or 5 years.
And Nikita, you were just a guest star, right?
I started off as a guest star, and then I became a series regular by season 3.
And that has to do something for your confidence.
Well, it was interesting because before that I'd come from doing Final Destination and these movies where I was the lead of these things, and all of a sudden I'm number 8 or 9 on the call sheet, and we got everybody that's way above me. So it was humbling. It was a good show. It was great, great cast, great directors, but it was humbling. It was like, okay, I got to climb back up the ladder again.
Yeah,
it was a great show to be on. Though it was a great show to start the journey.
Yeah, because you didn't want to start out. Well, I guess you did start out by Phil Glasser gave you the lead role in a movie.
Yeah.
Were you nervous coming back?
Yeah.
Were you like, what was it about?
The rooms, because I hadn't dealt with a lot of the rooms before.
Rooms as in?
Auditioning.
Right.
I've been getting offers before. So the rooms were petrifying to me. It was walking into this room full of all these actors and hearts just thumping. And that
Did it get in the way?
Yeah. Yeah.
And were you like, how do I beat this? How do I?
The pandemic helped a lot, believe it or not. When things started going to tapes, I still can't go into rooms. I think rooms are.
I hate rooms.
Rooms are. It's certain type of actor flourishes in a room situation.
I'm good in a room, but I don't like necessarily auditioning.
Yeah, I don't have the gift for gab. So you hear these other when the walls are paper thin, you hear these other actors going in and like talking about the weather and it's great to see you.
And so they assume, he's probably not easy to work with. He's not talking to us. He's not.
I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to go in there. I want to read my lines. I want to be in character. The rooms suck. That was the hardest thing about going back, was getting in those rooms.
I remember I did this movie, but I auditioned for this movie, and I went in, and the character was sort of an asshole. And I went in and I was that asshole.
Yeah.
And my agent called me and said, your audition was awesome. They thought you were great for the part, but the director doesn't know. He just feels like you might, like you maybe rubbed him the wrong way, or he thought you might not be easy to work with.
See, that's the whole thing. I mean, like.
And I said, what? I was playing a part.
Yeah.
I don't know, and he was really considering me, but he was also, and I go, do me a favor, give me his number. I'll never forget, his name was Wally Wolodarski. And they go, I don't think this is a good idea. You shouldn't do this. Maybe we could try to set something. I go, I'm in Vancouver. I'm shooting the pilot for Smallville.
Right.
And he, they said, okay. And they gave me his number. I go, Wally. Oh, hey, Michael. Wally, hey, man, I just want you to know that when I went in an audition, I tried to just be this asshole. But if you ask anybody I've ever worked with, I'm a lot of fun. I always know everybody's name on the crew and cast, and I make jokes and I'm having fun. And I promise you, if you cast me, it's going to be a great time for everyone, because I am easy to work with. And I hope you didn't feel that way. He's like, oh, okay. Michael, I really appreciate this. And I thought, fuck, all right. He's like, all right, take care. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
And I said, great. And I go, no way. He didn't even,
You got it.
And I got it.
Nice.
And it was just because man to man, I said, no, I'm not listening to what my agents tell me.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking call this guy. But back to what you're saying, you go in there and you don't have the gift of gab. That's not your thing. Yeah. I act. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I want you to hire me because I'm an actor, not because I'm a fucking...
Yeah,
I'm messing your D right now.
Right, right.
Yeah,
no, that's the whole.
Did you
thing.
bomb auditions?
Oh yeah.
What was the biggest bomb for the biggest movie you could remember where you're like, oh my god, here's an opportunity I just blew? Because I have a lot of those.
Parenthood, the TV show.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you audition for the Dax role?
I don't even know.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Probably,
right,
most
right,
likely.
Right.
But I thought it was a direct Parenthood kind of, like it was that kind of
Steve Martin thing.
Right. I didn't know
that. When you're sliding in the first, then
exactly. So I went
diarrhea.
I went full fucking comedy on it, and I just remember them just looking at me like I was fucking nuts. And then I watched the show, and it's very grounded and
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yep.
And I just remember that room after. It was like I just felt like I just wanted to be out of there as quickly as possible. They just looked at me like I was insane.
Yeah. Why didn't they give you direction?
I don't know.
Say, hey, can you play?
I think I was so far the other way.
I did that with Mike Judge. I was excited. He's one of my idols. And I went in for this movie, and I thought I got to be as weird and fucking just non-linear as I possibly can for this audition.
Right.
And I brought like a statue and put it on his desk of a golden retriever. And he just goes, oh, okay. I go, that's for you.
Yeah.
And then I went in and I just did this audition. It was just like,
yeah,
it was just a choice I made.
Right.
And afterwards, I thought, I don't know, I was kind of good. And I called my manager at the time, Michael Rotenberg, and I said, Rody, dude, how'd it go? He's like, what'd you do in there? And I go, killed it?
Yeah.
He goes, Mike Judge says he's never felt more uncomfortable with an audition in his life.
That's crazy because
I go, what?
You hear stories like that all the time when people do that kind of shit, and that's why they got the part. Yeah,
I try to be different.
Yeah,
and I was so the opposite of what he was looking at for.
Yeah, the Final Destination 6 directors, when they had their meeting with the studio to pitch their idea, they faked a death it was a Zoom thing. And they somehow faked, I didn't see it, but they faked their death in the Zoom meeting to the studio. And that's how they got the
I thought you were going to say they didn't get it.
No, they got it. They got it by doing this like crazy death fake on Zoom for their pitch meeting. So
did you ever think that Final Destination would be the hit it was when you were filming it?
No. I to tell you the truth, I didn't know a lot. I couldn't figure out a lot. It was all practicals.
Yeah, I missed that.
So you know, especially the bus sequence where, you know, we shot it over 2 days and they're shooting this thing and then they're shooting that thing. And then to see it all put together finally that's when you realize, holy shit, that's good. You know what I mean? But you didn't really, it felt good as you were shooting, but you didn't know how good, you know?
Were you, I mean, do you still get nervous while on set, you know, for your performance? Do you kind of go in and out of that? Way back when you did like Final Destination, you seemed kind of fearless. You probably weren't nervous.
Yeah. There was definitely a lot more fearlessness back when like Idle Hands, for instance.
Yeah.
I wish I could get back into that kid's head, because that kid was rolling downstairs and doing all this shit. And like, I remember the audition for it. I went into a meeting full of studio execs in suits, and was doing my best Bruce Campbell, just like throwing myself into walls and over furniture. And, I don't get nervous on
Bruce
set.
Campbell right there signed it.
He's a legend. I worked with him on a movie recently.
I did too. I worked with him on a failed pilot.
He's as good as you'd hope
he got me really high one day, and we went rode bikes through Burbank.
Oh, that's amazing.
I was like going, dude, I cannot go any further. I am really high right now. I took one hit off your joint. He was like, you're fine. Come on.
That's amazing.
He was great.
Good dude.
He was a great dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always say that. I always think, wow, that ambitious, young, fearless kid.
Yeah.
And then you start to get older and you start to think about things too much.
Yeah.
Right. We're overthinking things.
Yeah.
We don't have that same sort of fuck it mentality.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
There's a little of that. I definitely lost some of the fearlessness, but I don't get nervous at all. I feel like set is my home. I really get in
Really?
Yeah. I get really comfortable on set. I don't get nervous at all.
No matter what, even if you're dealing with big actors. When you're dealing with Gene Smart.
I was just going to say, I got nervous with Gene Smart. I don't know why. I think it was because, I mean, everybody loves that show. And I remember my agents were just all over it. They were like, you got to do this show. You got to do it. You got to. And so when I got it, it was, you know, it was so, the nervousness was so built up. I just sat in my trailer and you know, luckily she knocked on my door and introduced herself, and it kind of went away. But that was one of the only times, believe it or not, I got nervous. And I've been working with like Travolta and Stallone and all these people, but Gene Smart is who got me nervous.
Stallone, you didn't get nervous with?
Nah, not at all.
Was he cool?
Yeah.
Was he very giving? Like, hey, Devon, why don't you try it like this?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think he was not what I expected. He was.
I worked with him too. I loved him.
Yeah, he just shows up with a cigar in his mouth and he starts speaking, and he's like, oh my God, it's Stallone.
Hey, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We filming or what?
You got like 6 hours left. What's going on?
Yeah, it's like, Jesus fucking
Nah,
Christ.
he was great. I liked him a lot.
Do you have any stories about Stallone? Any funny moments? Any like kind of?
No, I remember we did this. We had the John Wick stunt team, and we rehearsed this big stunt thing. For me, it was he and I were supposed to fight in this big finale, and we worked for 2 weeks on this thing, and there was elbows and kicks and all this shit.
Did he ever hit you by accident?
Well, we finally show it to Stallone because he had his double doing, you know what I mean, and he's like, no, I don't like it. And it's like, oh, so we went back and we rehearsed it again, and we showed him on the day just before we're ready to shoot. He still didn't like it, so he goes, "We're gonna get in there and fight." I was like, what does that mean? So we'll get in there, we're just going to fight. So we got in this little cement cell, and we just kind of like two kids, you know, pulling punches and just, you know, fighting, whatever.
Faking it.
It was like two kids, like two 10-year-olds fighting. You know what I mean?
Did it look good?
Looked great. It turned out amazing. I mean, I didn't get the hit because I'm the bad guy. I'm supposed to die. So he's you know, I'm taking.
Did he ever hit you
I'm
by
taking
accident?
bumps. I'm taking bumps.
Did you take some hard ones?
I took one headlock that
It hurt.
It was.
Did you say, "Hey, can you ease up a little bit"?
Nah, Stallone. I'll recover. I'll recover from it. But there's one between takes. One time he's like, "Yo, you remember in Rocky 2 when I had him up against the ropes?" And I was like, "Oh my God, he's referencing Rocky fucking 2. This is amazing." And it was it was a phenomenal day.
You know what's funny is I think now people are really starting to that didn't know assumed like, "Yo, he's Rocky, he's Rambo, he's this."
Yeah.
The guy wrote and directed so much, and when he says, "No, we're just going to do this."
Yeah. He knew. He was a machine. The thing was, we had a lot of different. We had Batista was on this, and he had a fight.
Love Dave.
Yeah, he had a fight with his stunt double, and it was more of a brutal wrestling kind of fight, a lot of slams, a lot of whatever. And then we had a few Asian actors that come from this really kung fu-y kind of karate, and so it was all, that kind of stuff. And so he felt like as a contrast to a lot of these different fights, we needed to be just kind of sloppy and big haymakers. And
it looked good.
It looked great, man. It looked great.
Jesus,
yeah.
Man. That's cool. I'd love to actually have a fight scene with Stallone.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
What's funny is like I got to work with him for a while. And so after the days, we started joking around and really build a rapport together. And I started fucking with him, and like he would fuck with me. And like we talked about back surgeries. We had the same surgeon. He's like, you had that surgeon? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm fucking asshole. Never. I text him. He doesn't text me back.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah.
But he was always.
Somebody told me before meeting him, like, cause I was like, well, what should I do? What do I need to watch? Just be real.
That's what he likes.
He just likes real dudes. Don't be fucking fake. He doesn't like fake people. Just fucking be real. And that's it. That's all. And you'll get along fine.
I said to him on set, I'll never forget, this is on Guardians 3. And we were sitting there and I go, he said something and I did an impression of him or something in front of him. He's like, hey. Like,
your impression's good.
He's like, watch it, And he's sitting there and I go, dude, I got to tell you, man, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I'm just saying you're like really funny. I'm surprised you don't do a lot of more comedies. I mean, you really make me laugh, man.
Right.
He goes, that's the thing. I get on set all the time. Everybody thinks I'm all serious and shit. I like to have fun, I want to be fun.
Right.
And I could see he liked that. I was like, kind of shooting the shit. And,
yeah,
he was fun. It's fun working with your idols when they turn out to be cool.
That's why it was a no-brainer doing the movie because, along with horrors, which I primarily watched, Schwarzenegger and Stallone and Bruce Willis and these guys. I mean, that's who I was raised on.
Who's your idol?
It would have been Schwarzenegger, then Stallone, as far as
Schwarzenegger. Why Schwarzenegger?
Man, everything, Raw Deal, Conan, Red Son, whatever Schwarzenegger movie was coming out at ABC Video, I was all over it, or Video, whatever, I was all over it.
And that's always been still to this day.
I mean, he hasn't really been doing much.
Well, I'm just saying in general, it's like if you had an idol your whole life, you're like the one guy I'd want to meet.
Well, no, because till about 15, and then I saw Pulp Fiction, and then everything changed for me as an artist. It was like, it just was the right movie at the right time.
Yeah.
That was like, holy shit. Like before that, it was all fun. It was like going to set was fun. I was going to make these fun movies and hang out with other kids. And then I saw Pulp Fiction, and it was kind of like, I was at that age. It was like, oh shit, I could do something different.
This is different.
This is art. Look how artsy this is.
Yeah.
Look how cool this is.
And Travolta was cool.
Travolta was awesome. I've done 2 movies with him. He's really.
What did you do with Travolta?
I did this one movie called Life on the Line, which is an electrical line movie. Phil Glasser produced it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he must have like. Okay, and what was the next one?
The next one was Fred Durst directed.
Yes.
The Fanatic. An interesting film. It was an interesting film. It was.
Did you have fun on it?
I had a great time. Fred Durst is amazing. Travolta, he threw everything into it. Say what you will about the film, but that guy came every day like he was going after that Oscar for this film. I mean, he showed up in his wardrobe. Everybody was to call him Moose. It was like he would sit in his chair and he would, rock. And
could you talk to him like as Travolta, or is he that character?
Mostly the character.
So you don't really have too much conversation with him.
We did. We had some, but he was mostly trying to go for that. I'm in character now. Everybody needs to, But
did you hug it out on your last day?
We
Did you ever hang out?
We did, yeah.
You did?
Yeah, he loves to tell stories. He's, out of everyone I've worked with, he's the one that wants to sit down and tell you about Studio 54 or the time he was running with Muhammad Ali in Miami, or when him and Sean Penn went down to Mexico he's got stories and all you want to do is listen because they're so, iconic, and they're all from the 70s and early 80s. And
jeez.
Yeah.
And I bet he loves talking about flying.
He does. He does. I don't think he knows that I might get bored with the flight conversations.
This episode is sponsored by Betterhelp. I love Betterhelp. They've been around here a long time, and I am convinced that therapy is such an important part of our lives. The stigma, I think, is going away, and more people are veering towards therapy and helping themselves, because it's all about the future. If you can work on yourself now, you're going to be a better, stronger person later. It can be easy to ignore our social battery and spread ourselves thin, folks, especially with social gatherings picking up after the winter. And maybe you thrive around people, or maybe you need some more alone time. Therapy can give you the self-awareness to build a social life that doesn't drain your battery. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. Therapy with Betterhelp is just a good place to start when you want to understand you better. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. And all you do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. Find your social sweet spot with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/inside today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/inside. Like, I can't believe you were Stan.
Yeah.
In the Eminem video.
Yeah. Still one of the most favorite things I've done.
That's one of the most iconic things ever.
Yeah.
Was it just Eminem wanted you?
No, I think look, I'll never really know, but I heard that it was Dr. Dre was a big Final Destination fan. They went after Macaulay Culkin first, and Macaulay Culkin couldn't do it for whatever reason. And a friend of mine called me. My agent's trying to talk me out of it. They were like, Eminem, I don't know. This sounds, but I did it anyways.
Did that do anything for your career? Did you become friends with Eminem?
He wasn't there a lot.
Right.
He wasn't there a lot. Did it do anything for my career? I don't know if it did, but it's definitely one of the top 5 things that I think that I'll go to the grave most proud about.
Why is that?
I'm a huge hip hop fan. I've always been a huge hip hop fan.
Do you know every line of the song?
I had to learn every line of the song. I probably could.
Was it hard to learn that?
Yeah, they told me on the day. And
you had to learn it in a day?
They told me the day of. By the way, we're going to have you lip sync this verse. But it's just Dre. I grew up with Dre.
What was the verse?
The last verse when I'm in the car, when I'm I'm not gonna sing it.
You have to sing it. You know the words?
It.
Some of the words?
I don't remember right now.
All right, that's all right.
It was hard on the day though. It was. I remember Dre coming in after one take and being like, "Hey, could you try a little more rhythm? You're a little off." I was like, "Oh, well, okay."
Well, I just learned this.
Yeah.
Just got this, guys.
I'm not a rapper.
But you had fun doing it?
Yeah.
I remember there was like a lot of rain.
That was all rain machines.
All rain machines.
All rain machines. It was
2
D12,
days shoot, 2 days?
3 days.
3 days shoot.
D12 was there. Cypress Hill was there. Some of the Lakers were there. It was
just watching.
It was a nutty party kind of atmosphere. It was,
Did that make you nervous?
No, it was like there was chaos going on around.
A lot of pot. A lot of people smoking pot.
I don't think on set. I think there might have been offset among other things. But I remember Dre and Philip Atwell, who directed it, myself, the DP, and a few other, and Dido, who looked petrified the entire time she was there because I'm just looking at her to like.
Is she beautiful?
She is beautiful and she's very talented. But I remember being in a zone, like there's just a small group of people were in a zone, and everybody else around us was kind of just like was a circus going on. You know what I mean?
Wow. But one of the most memorable, because do you think it's most memorable because of the response to it, or was it all of it?
It was the response. It was there wasn't a lot other than Michael Jackson and then Aerosmith. There wasn't a lot of these movie type videos.
Yeah.
This was kind of like they made it a movie, and then the song itself is just brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant.
It could be like one of the top 3 Eminem songs, right?
Yeah,
most memorable
for sure.
I mean, you get to do some cool shit.
Yeah.
I ended up doing videos for bands that never went anywhere.
Yeah.
They would, I mean, literally nowhere. They would just start. It's just like, hey, can you be in this video? I'm like, yeah, nothing happened.
Yeah. I knew it was going to be big. That's why I had to I had agents and managers like, you can't do it. I don't think you should do it. It's not good. And I knew that it was going to be. I mean, this is TRL. Like this is like it was. I knew this video was going to play on loop for a couple of months, and it did. And that's when Hollywood partying started to really.
And all all the girls probably in Hollywood or whatever, the guys, they were like, oh, you're Stan.
Exactly. buy a drink.
So you were walking a party,
for Stan.
and they recognized you from that. You got recognized a lot from that.
People would start talking.
I bet it didn't pay much at all.
No, nothing. I don't know exactly how much.
Couple grand or whatever.
Sure. We weren't doing it for, there wasn't a lot of negotiation powers. Like, you want to do this or not?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Look, I'm the biggest horror movie fan, as you can see. I know you love horror.
Love it.
Chucky.
Yeah.
I mean, legendary.
Yeah.
I'm good buddies with Tom Holland, who created Chucky.
Sure.
And wrote the movie. How did this happen? Like, I'm sure you had to audition.
Yeah. It was. I think my agents were nervous about giving me this project.
Because it could seem like it's going to be really bad.
Well,
it's going to be.
They didn't read it, and it's
Chucky.
It's Chucky TV show. Who knows? But the script is the pilot was phenomenal. And I also had a feeling that Mancini was going to do. So Mancini is the showrunner, and I knew he was going to do something different with it. And it felt he was telling the stories that he wanted to tell. It just felt important to be a part of.
You know what I like? I like that it's the way it's shot.
Yeah, it's beautifully shot.
And the acting, it's just that they take it seriously. They try to keep it grounded for however the craziness.
We let Jennifer Tilly be a little bit heightened, and we try to ground everything. And obviously Chucky's, he's also a comic relief. But it's been a blast, man. I hope it just keeps going.
How
forever.
many seasons?
We just wrapped season 3. We halfway through and the strike happened, so we shut down, and we went back in late November and through December and shot the rest.
How many episodes a year?
8.
You shoot 8. So you're done in like 3.5 months.
Yeah. It's the only way I want to work. I know you did. Smallville was like 22. So
10 months a year.
Yeah.
A little over that.
That's what, like, Nikita was just, it was brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
It's a lot.
Did you ever get bored? There was like 10 or 12 seasons. How many?
I left after 7. I didn't want to do the next 3, so I bowed out. But it was a lot. We're doing our Talkville podcast now, which is a rewatch Smallville podcast. And we talk about it, but I never really watched the episodes. So I have to go back and watch them. And it's funny because I could appreciate the show, and but I definitely am like, oh my God.
Is it procedural? Is it?
Would you say it's
kind
procedural?
of bad guy of the week?
They do that a lot, but now a lot of times they're also now weaving in stories and character development.
So there's a big story that kind of goes, but
they veered away from Freak of the Week a little, but they still go back to it. It's kind of we need an episode. Let's just make a Freak of the Week. It's easier to do that. But there's always stories going on and evolving. Right. But this is cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
Cliffhanger TV, which is the best.
This is one story through 8 episodes, and then it kind of ends. And then we boot it up again.
Do you get all the episodes before you film?
Yeah.
All of them, they're done?
Yeah.
And how many days a week do you work?
4 or 5.
So you're working almost every day.
I'm working a lot. First season, I played 2 characters. The second season was a priest. This season's a beast. Yeah, we work a lot.
What's the hardest thing about it?
You know what? There's nothing hard about it.
You love it.
I love it. I tell Mancini all the time, man, this is a once in a life. First of all, I get to play different characters all the time. Mm-hmm. He kills me and brings me back as a new character. It's an artist's dream that I
that's like a Jessica Lange in American Horror Story.
Exactly. It's a once in a lifetime kind of
and
thing.
You get to play different things. Yeah. And you're enjoying. Yeah, it does sound like a role of a lifetime.
It is. And so I'm excited going to work every day.
The original movie, still the funniest line in the history of lines is when Chucky is in the elevator and the 2 old people are in there and they go, "Oh, what an ugly doll." And they walk out and he goes, "Fuck you."
Yeah. He's got a lot of that. It's the king.
Who's the voice?
Brad Dourif.
It's still the voice.
It's still Brad Dourif.
Yeah. I've always wanted Brad Dourif. I'm the biggest fan of Brad Dourif on this podcast.
We had some great conversations, Brad Dourif and I. He's
intense.
He has a resume. He has a resume.
Watch him in Exorcist 3. It's one of the best, most underlooked performances in the history of cinema.
But Cuckoo's Nest, like how good was he in that film?
Brilliant.
You know what I mean?
Billy.
Billy. Billy.
Yeah. God, he got nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
He was in this movie I did, Urban Legend. I didn't get to work with him, but I came on set when he was filming that day. He was in the opening scene, and he has a stuttering part.
Right.
And he's like, the girl's leaving and she thinks he's coming after her because he's weird.
Right.
He's like, no. And she goes, no, leave me alone. He's in the back seat.
Wow, they gave him a stuttering part?
It was kind of a stutter. He couldn't get it out, and it worked. But, he did that so many years ago. It's a new audience.
Yeah, for sure.
It was different. He's a genius.
Phenomenal.
You want me to tell you the best series on TV that no one talks about? There's two.
Okay.
The first one is season 1 of Dark.
I never heard of it.
Trust me, everyone I've told when they watch it.
Is that Defoe?
No.
Okay.
It's just this German TV show. It's the most brilliant show I've ever seen. It's called Dark, but watch it subtitled. Don't overdub in American voices. It ruins it.
Is that on Netflix?
I think so.
Right.
And the second one is a show called To the Lake. It's the Russian sort of apocalypse, I guess. And there's this pandemic going on, but it is the most intense, character-driven, amazing show. They have to get to the lake to survive.
Okay.
And it's all these families and these people, and it's just, the style is unreal.
Dark and To the Lake.
Dark, I'll text you.
Okay.
Trust me.
I need a new show right now.
Trust me. They're so good. And there's not a lot of shows that do that for me, where they're just like, I can't wait for this to come out. It's funny because the second season, for whatever, at odds with Russia and all this, it didn't come out. It came out, but it didn't come to the States or whatever.
Right.
So my friend illegally downloaded it.
Perfect.
Can I say that? And I watched the season 2 just
don't say your friend's name.
Yeah, John.
000. Did you ever see that?
No.
It's a family that owns a shipping company that's shipping drugs between Italy, the Italian
3 O's, 3 zeros?
000, the 3 words, all one word.
Is it intense?
It's great. I can't believe more people didn't talk about it. It's one season, one and done. Family that owns a shipping company helping the Italian mafia in Italy smuggle drugs to the Mexican mafia in Mexico. And they get kind of caught up, and both worlds you're seeing both worlds. It's pretty awesome.
Did you ever watch? I never watched Narcos. I bet you like that.
I didn't want. I watched like 1 or 2 seasons. That's the thing. I watched 1 or 2 seasons, and I'm like, I get it.
I get it. People love Succession.
That same thing. I thought it was phenomenal. I got 1 season, and I'm like, yeah, I get it.
I watched through 4 episodes, and I was like, I had so much dysfunction growing up that I'm like, I get it. It's great. These guys are great. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
I can't watch this.
Yeah.
There's a couple shows like The Bear. A great show.
Yeah.
Great show. But I'm sweating at the end of it. I'm too stressed, and it's not a good stress.
I like The Bear. I do like
he's
The Bear.
Great. I just was like, I couldn't do it. But anyway. Lastly, what do you, besides keep doing Chucky, continuing to do the show until they don't want to do it anymore?
Yeah.
What else would you like to do? What else do you want to do? More movies? Would you like to get another series like this?
Listen, I love doing movies. I love the fact that you get a script, you know how it's going to end. You know who's on it. The problem with, we didn't get this so much with Chucky because we got all 8 scripts, so we knew. But like for instance, Nikita, we were flipping to the back of the scripts every time we get one to see if we got a bullet. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I kind of like doing movies more.
What does your wife think?
Well, she wants me to do movies too. You go away for a month, 2 tops,
and then you're back.
Chucky was hard on us. We did that. I did Chucky during the first year.
Where does it film?
Toronto.
It films in Toronto. Well, you're from there, yeah.
I had to sign something the first year saying that I would go up there, and I couldn't go back, and my family couldn't come up for 4.
They couldn't come up.
They couldn't.
That was in the deal.
That's.
Are they making you sign a divorce paper?
That's just if I wanted to do it, that's the deal that I had to make.
Did they eventually allow them to visit?
Yeah. Season 2 was the same kind of. They were like, they made it very hard for me to go home. They came up, but it was difficult.
Right.
It was more the Canadian border because you had to quarantine for 14 days.
Oh, that's
so. If you went,
that makes sense.
If you went back to LA to visit for the weekend, you'd have to go home and quarantine for 14 days.
I got you. I wasn't thinking pandemic. I thought that was just a law. I was like, what the fuck?
No. That's the deal. That's why we had to make the deals because there's no way they're giving me 16 days every time I want to go visit my family.
Right. It was the pandemic. That's why. Would you be happy if your kids wanted to become actors?
Yeah, but they're not. They're right now in theater. just because it's part of school and whatnot. If they wanted to join an agency, and I don't think I wouldn't allow it right now. They can act their little hearts out in school and, you know, community theaters or whatever it is until they're 18, and then they can do whatever they want.
Lastly, how much for the sweatshirt?
I'd get you one.
No.
I'll get you one.
Just tell me where you got it.
Roots of Fight.
Roots
of Fight.
Like
I live in this stuff. You're gonna
Roots of Fight.
Roots of Fight. Go to that website and look at all their stuff. They've got wrestling, baseball. They got all old school shit.
They got that one.
They got that one.
It's beautiful. The Rowdy, 1984.
That's right, baby.
You love wrestling?
I used to religiously watch wrestling and basketball. I don't watch either anymore.
Hockey's my sport.
I don't watch hockey. I grew up watching hockey.
Well, Toronto
Canadian.
Leafs, baby.
Yeah.
Ty Domi.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
I was from Vancouver.
Huh?
I'm from Vancouver.
Oh.
So we had the Canucks.
Oh, yeah, the Canucks. We beat you.
So who is our
Pavel Bure.
Yeah, I know, but who is our Ty Domi?
You didn't have Bertuzzi made that dirty hit, but that was later.
No, but we had one guy. I'm blanking on the name.
No one would care listening except you and me.
No, yeah, you're right. You're probably right.
No, but people are like,
particular
hockey,
guy.
Oh, it's such a good interview.
Gino Ochek. That's who it was.
Gino Ochek.
Gino Ochek.
I kind of remember that.
He was our guy during the Pavel Bure, Trevor Linden kind of.
He protected him.
Yeah, he was our get out there on the ice. That shit doesn't happen anymore.
No, I mean, there's still fights and stuff. But
meh.
They toned it down a little bit.
A little bit.
Dude, this has been a joy. I hope you had fun. I really love talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
Time. And by the way, it's funny because I took my friends, as we know, are horror fans, to Monster Palooza in Burbank, and you were a guest there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, because I went in there and they were going to leave me passes just to check it out. And she's like, "Oh yeah, your name's not here." And I'm like, "Devon." And I saw you and I gave you a hug and I go, "Hey, he's a friend of mine.
That's my boy."
You're like, "Yeah." And they let me in.
Yeah. Good.
So you
I'm glad.
It was fun, man.
Yeah.
You like doing those cons?
Sometimes.
It's nice to see people who
the fans are phenomenal.
Yeah.
The fans are phenomenal. And you know, I was very nervous doing it the first time. And then you realize you get a lineup of people telling you the nicest shit all day long. And it really warms your heart. So
awesome.
But yeah, I do them every once in a while.
Anything coming up besides Chucky?
Just Chucky.
That's all you need
Just Chucky
now.
right now.
That's enough time.
Yeah, the new episode is April.
Give me that.
It just was announced today, so we are looking at
today,
April 10th. April 10th, Sci-Fi, USA, and Peacock, and then YouTube in a couple days after
April 10th?
April 10th.
April 10th, guys.
Yeah.
Chucky, it's so much fun. You got to check it out. Maybe he'll help me get Brad Dourif on the show.
I'll try. I think he would love to.
I'd love it. You can just tell we work together in Urban Legend.
Perfect.
And all that stuff. But this has been a joy, man. I'm glad you came on. Continued success.
Thank you.
Maybe one day therapy. Who knows?
I should.
All right. See you.
Thanks, brother.
Great guy. It's great having him here.
Awesome.
And this is why I have the sweatshirt right now that you're looking at.
Right.
He was wearing that. So I got this when we did our intros. I had already ordered one because I wanted one so bad. So we're sort of matching in a weird way. So, well,
that's what it was.
Yeah, he was wearing this Roddy Piper sweatshirt. So
Cozy.
Now I am. So thank you for listening. If you didn't listen to the intro, I urge you to go to my Instagram at the Michael Rosenbaum and Linktree, and all the stuff is there. If you want to see the live podcast or the Smallville Con or Cameo or other conventions Tom and I will be at. Also Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath on Amazon. It's on my Linktree, a new product I have, and a lot of good stuff. I'm writing a horror movie, Ryan.
You said.
Yeah, I'm
very
like
excited
65. I wrote 65 pages in like 4 days.
Damn.
And it's really coming together, and I hope it's something I can direct. I think it's scary and creepy and cool and action-packed. And so let's see if I can get this sucker made. You know how much I talk about horror movies.
You do.
I do.
You want to bring good horror.
It's very hard to get things made. I've written a lot of things, and we'll see what happens.
If it's low budget enough, you can low budge.
Yeah, I have to make it low budget, but some of the deaths are not cheap. We've got underwater shit. We've got crashes.
Ooh.
We've got a lot of prosthetics. We've got
dismemberments.
We have some crazy shit going on.
Decapitations.
But it's a good story. It's kind of like that Scream feel, that I Know What You Did Last Summer feel, that It Follows feel. Anyway, hopefully we'll get this made, but you know how stuff goes. People will ask me a year from now, 5 years from now, what happened to it? And I don't know. It never got made. But hopefully we'll get it made.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for listening right now. We're going to do a shout out to the patrons. We love you guys. Without you, I wouldn't do this show, and Ryan wouldn't be here, and the amazing Bryce and Jason wouldn't be helping the show. And it's people like you that help this podcast continue. So thank you. Patreon.com/inside of you to join. So many perks now for patrons. So you want to take a look at it. Here are the top tiers. They get their names shouted out as well. Nancy D, Leah and Kristen, Little Lisa, Yukiko, Jill E, Brian H, Nico P, Robert B, Jason W, Sophie M, Raj C, Jennifer N, Stacy L, Jamal F, Janelle B, Mike E, Eldon Supremo. Ryan?
99 more, Santiago M, Leanne P, Maddie S, Belinda N, Dave H.
Dave H.
There you go.
I love you, Dave.
Brad D, Ray H, Tabitha T, Tom N, Talia M, Betsy D, Ryan and C, Corey K, Dev Nexon.
Michelle A, Jeremy C, Miss Melsky, Eugene and Leah. Pick my nose real quick. Mel S, Chris, Eric H, Shane R, Andrew M, Oracle, Amanda R, Kevin E, Stephanie K, Jarrell, Jam and J, Leanne J, Luna R, Mike F, Stone H, Brian L, Jules M, Jessica B, Kyle F, Kaylee J, Charlene A, Brian A, Marion Louise L, Romeo the Band, Frank B, Jen T, April RM, Randy S, Oral P, Rachel D, Jen, Carolina Girl, Lorelei L, hi Lorelei, Melissa H, Nick W, Stephanie and Evan, Charlene A, Ryan,
Don G, Jenny B, John, Jennifer R, Tina E, NG, Tracy, Tasha S, Keith B, Waffles, Heather E. Greg, Ellie K, Diego M.
We love you guys. Thank you for all the support and continued support. We'll continue to try and bring you great shows. And thank you, Devon Sawa, for being our guest from the Hollywood Hills in Hollywood, California. I am Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm Ryan Tejas. I'm here too.
Little wave to the camera. We love you. Thank you. I hope you like the new sign. Not the new sign, but the lit up sign. Be good to yourself. We'll see you next week.